I hope you're having as good a day as I am. I think at the moment, physically, I'm at we're going to keep it at a 7, but I'm pretty tired. Tomorrow's going to be a very good rest day, and I might just eat an entire cake by myself in my room, but that's okay because I've earned it. But mentally, I'm at a 9, and although it is typically because of the weights, today it was more of I had very nice homie interactions today with the gym homies. And it's not that it's a rare thing to have great moments with the gym homies. It's always awesome, but it's not super often where it gets me to the point mentally where I'm like, damn, I didn't even need to work out today. I could have just talked to you guys and I would have had a great day. So I thought it'd be kind of nice to get a little bit more philosophical maybe. I might compare it to weightlifting anyway because that's the only thing that I know how to make good life analogies about. But regardless, I thought it'd be cool to talk about someone's or yourselves, your expectations versus your hopes for certain things that come up in life. And I think the biggest misconception that happens that hurts people the most is regardless of relationships, whatever work you do, businesses, the gym, whatever, even just your mentality for the day. People a lot will have such a high hope, which is a great thing. I think everybody should have as high hopes as they should, because that's literally where goals and dreams come out. It gives you something to work towards and makes you passionate for something, gives you a better desire in your daily life to do better. But regardless of that, a lot of times that super high hope will come with a very high expectation of whatever might be happening to you. And I know a lot of times, especially with relationships with people, regardless if it's dating or just friends, people will have such high hopes for a relationship, which is awesome. You should always, I would always want people to expect the best in me as I expect the best, or not expect, hope for the best in me. Jesus, I'm already going back and forth. I hope that people would have the best hopes for me as I would have the best hopes for them. But when it comes to expectations, it becomes really hard to align the two and correlate them, because when you have such a high expectation for whatever relationship you may have with someone, if it doesn't go the way you thought it would, no matter how much time passes, there's never an in-between. You're either it works out great, which doesn't happen as nearly as much as I wish it would, and you get the most serotonin you'll have. That's where your best friends come in, the people you want to live the rest of your life with, and a relationship, your parents, whatever. Those are the people that you can have the highest expectations and the highest hopes, and because it's the idea that they're going to be with you forever and they're always going to treat you well, that kind of shit. But when it comes to people you meet in your daily life that you might be getting closer to, I know it can be hard to commit or put in a lot in that relationship because it may feel one-sided when your expectations get really, really high, because I cut myself off, but there's no in-between. It's normally just either you get that super big serotonin boost from those lifelong relationships that everybody wants, or most of the time you get completely crushed because your expectations were so high you didn't expect said people to leave. I know I've had my own fair share of experiences where, especially in college, you'll meet that first friend group, and especially because I had to restart in high school. I moved during my high school years to a different state, and I had to learn how to get social then. But especially in college, you meet that first friend group and you really try to attach to them. Or if you go to a college nearby where you grew up, you try to stay attached to the people that you grew up with, and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna leave these guys. These are gonna be my new best friends, or they're gonna stay my best friends forever, and it's always gonna move that way. And when it comes to independent lives and people wanting to do what's best for them, when it comes to people moving away or doing stuff for the sake of their career or the people they love, that's completely different than what I'm mentioning. People should go and do what they want to do. You got to be independent and selfish for the things that you want to succeed in life and be very passionate about. But when so many times it'll just be a matter of people not being able to commit enough dedication to a relationship, which isn't a lot, honestly. It's just like even a phone call, a text message, whatever. But those high expectations will lead to people being like, you'll have those best friends that you meet and you think you're going to be with them throughout your whole college career at least, and maybe afterward, and have families or whatever. And I've had my own expectations crushed because I thought that my first friend group was going to be my best friends, and then it ended up being just something that blew up. Nobody talks to each other as much anymore, or at all sometimes, and you just lose contact. And while I will always still hope for the best for them, it's like I can't have the same expectations that I had originally. It's just it'd be a lie to think that way. So I think the main thing about it is that people that aren't able to commit to relationships in that way, that might hurt other people in those ways, I don't think it's ever, I think it's very rare that it's out of malicious intent. Nobody ever really tries to hurt someone unless they genuinely have a hatred for them. But it's just not a normal thing. I don't think it happens as much. I think it's very, very rare comparatively. I think what normally happens is people, with how stressful the world can be, they have, when it comes to their own mental health, or whatever they have going on in their personal lives, or what they aspire to be or dream or desire to do, whatever in their future, they just don't have it all together. And so when people don't have their own personal lives figured out or their own mental health figured out, it's extremely hard for them to dedicate any time to other people because they haven't figured themselves out yet, which again, super normal, no shade. It's how it is. I was there. Everybody's going to be there at some point. It's always different when it comes to individual, unique people. Some people take a long time to figure that out. Some people take a lot less time. And again, because I feel that I've gone through it and I've been there, it's way easier to tell you because it's easier said than done. I've been there. I've done it. I can say it with my chest out. I'm confident about it. But it's way harder to just say. It's like when you go to therapy, you can't just tell someone to get better. You got to find the root of what's hurting you or limiting you in your daily life and learn to improve on that slowly over time until you get to a point where you are confident in your own mental health and your own personal principles in your life. But regardless of that, to conclude it, I guess, I know it's might seem more serious. I just like talking about this stuff. But it's, not to say that you can't have higher expectations. It's just about being able to, if you're going to have high expectations along with high hopes of somebody, then you need to be mentally and personally capable of experiencing that hurt when it comes. With every relationship that happens, even if you stay together your whole life, you're always going to hit the bumps and shit along the way. So no matter how high your expectation gets for somebody, you need to make sure, I think of two things that are the most important. And one is that personally, you are still happy and positive in your daily life, and these other people are not dragging you down through the mud, even if they aren't trying to. And then secondly, being able to take a step back and, take responsibility, even if it seems like you shouldn't have to take said responsibility, that when the shit hits the fan and the hurt comes, you can either back off and take the hurt and just accept it for what it is, or you can try to put in more effort into the relationship and try to mend it. And whatever happens after that is always unique to the situation. So this main thing, just, keep yourself, not in a overly selfish way, but you need to keep your own personal priorities first. It's your life, and we don't have a super long life, even if it feels like a long one. And, when the hurt comes, just be ready for it. Have people to jump on and, support groups to go to, or just the gym. There's my analogy. You can go to the gym to get your emotions out if you don't like talking about it. Just whatever you do in your daily life that makes you overcome these hardships, just make sure you're prepared to experience that. So I don't know. It is a bit of a tangent. You don't have to agree with me. I just thought it was interesting to talk about because I've thought about it a lot in my personal life. But anyway, I had a great day regardless, and I'm doing pretty good. So you'll see me when I'm back.